Very often I get questions, or we get questions, which is most important muscle in arm wrestling? Biceps, forearm,
Heart.
chest,
Heart.
heart. I will win you. You have weak chests.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not most important, and it's not less important.
Yeah. Everything's important. And
I have said it many times before. Arm is like a chain. In a theory, we can talk about kinematic chain. So your weakest point in a chain is as strong.
no, your strongest
or as
point.
strong as your weakest
You're
weakest
as
link.
strong as your weakest link.
And your biceps is it most important. If you are very strong in your hand, in your fingers, in your wrist, you're always able to curl your wrist. You're never losing your wrist, but you're always losing your biceps. You always losing your angle here. Your arm is opening. Your hand is. Then your biceps is most important for you.
Yeah.
You need to strengthen your biceps, and that's the most important muscle for you. Or if you're able to catch everyone here and just hold on your biceps, and then you need here like this.
Yeah.
That's your main working muscle. Of course, biceps is not only elbow flexor, but still we will talk about arm flexor
As a whole unit, everything here will say biceps. So all the motion here should be.
yes.
Yeah,
And same again. Maybe wrist, maybe hand is most important. If someone attacks here and always you are losing, always like you watch your competition videos, you analyze your training, you analyze your sparring fights, and always when you fight you are losing your wrist. So for you, most important
should be wrist, finger, everything that's here. So hand should be your priority.
Yeah.
To get stronger.
And basically in arm wrestling there are two ways of losing. One is when opponent attacks your arm and you losing by opening and losing your arm.
Through hook, basically.
Yeah, and other is
Through
hand.
top rope, through hand.
And it's not always so easy to say which is your weakest link, because when you are losing in one point, it's working how to say, not just separately,
but
it's working together and
yeah.
you are losing also other points.
Yeah.
And you feel you will lose your hands and fingers, and automatically you are losing your whole arm.
We try to hold on, so we open them.
Or your fingers are a little bit more far away, and you have more pressure, not only on fingers but also on wrist, and also it's physics. You have pressure here, pressure here, pressure here. Higher pressure you have on this point, also your arm will have a higher pressure. Yeah. But basically it's all those parts are same important. Anyway, it's rotation, it's side pressure, it's back pressure, it's hand, it's wrist.
And it's not necessarily said that something is weak. You need to understand what you are doing. If let's say I know that your hand here is strong and I'm attacking and losing my wrist all the time, maybe that's not what I should be doing. Maybe I should try to catch you like this, and then I'm not losing my wrist. So it's not only the strength of the movement, but basically what you are doing against your opponent. So this is the more complicated part. Easiest part is to say, well, you're weak, your wrist sucks, so train your wrist. The hardest part is what you are doing. And are you doing it correctly? Are you applying the pressure? And same way we look at the weak points, we need to look at the strong points. So what's your strongest point and how are you going to use it?
Yeah, and about weak and strong points, it's again always question.
What's more important?
Make your strong points even stronger, or work on your weaknesses. Like, it's gold standard to be work on both and then get stronger. But if you are good at one movement, focus even more on that movement and work even more on your strong points and make them even stronger. But of course, don't forget about your weaknesses.
Yeah, you should work on everything. The higher everything. So, sometimes it will be just that maybe your finger flexors are not so strong, and you feel that everything here is losing. As soon as you get some finger flexor strength, well, now everything holds up. So it's not always going to be like you have to work super like a lot. It can be very easy fixes for things, just identifying the problem. You need to look at the matches that you lose in competition, in training. I don't know. In training, it's always different, but in competition, it's 100% sure, because you know what you are doing and you know where you lost.
Yeah, but it's always depend also who against you are pulling.
Yeah, against who you are pulling. Yeah,
against who. Yeah.
But if you lose to everyone the same. Yeah. But this is why we have technology, and I think looking at your losses, looking at your wins, what could you done better? How you like what I did here? Why didn't I not do this here? So looking at all those things.
I remember I have a few students who are always deleting the fights where they are losing.
Yeah.
And that's
like how are you gonna learn?
That's actually best way to learn. Look how you are losing, and of course it's not good for maybe your idiomotor training to watch every time like you're losing. Yeah, but from a theoretical part, it's good to analyze, good to understand what you did wrong, what you could do better, and what you have to improve, or where you have to improve and get stronger.
We have like make your guys look at the matches, think about what you're doing, all those things. It shouldn't be that you should lose all the time, all the same, and keep improving the thing that you don't need. So look at everything critically and analytically, so work on it.
Yeah, but one more time, if I would ask you, what is most important, muscle or most important?
Still hard. For my style, I feel that all this internal rotation is the more important for me, because I have won more matches than I have lost by that way. But of course, I would say it's the hand. As soon as you get because the hand is the most hardest part to train, hardest part to figure out what's wrong. If you have solid hand, then you can work on everything else and work everything better. Yeah. I think this is the hardest thing to train.
Yeah, I would say the same. Hand and hand control, that's most important in arm wrestling. And
it's not, and everyone always thinks like hand control is just like something like I get this. It's everything, like how you work your pronation, supination together, radial ulnar deviation. So it's a lot of movements. It's not just one movement. It's not just this or this. It's combination, and how you work on it, apply it with different hands. For each hand, like your grip changes. Like Yanis has super small hand. For me, it's very easy. For him to take my hand, it's super hard.
Super easy as well.
But it changes with everyone you work with. So
yeah, in arm wrestling, you can't lift if you can't hold. So it's quite similar on table. With a hand, you can put your opponent with a good hand, with good finger control, with rotation. You put your opponent in a possible worst position for him, and you don't need to use as much your biceps or internal rotation or chest or shoulder or anything. You just can put him in a much worse position, and if you don't have this, you need to somehow compensate it with crazy strong side press and pull and hold on an open angle.
We know that you can win in a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways, but there's efficient way of winning, and there's not that efficient way of winning. So you need to understand, like, when you go into tournaments, the hardest thing, the worst thing is like have a hard match right off the start, or first or second round. There's a lot of guys, you're like, damn, I'm done. If you don't have that endurance, or you just lose strength, because you will lose strength. So for every type of match, it's a different way of training, but you need to understand what's your weakest part, work on it. What's your strongest part, work on it, and just look at it. Yeah.
So hand over biceps.
Yeah, let's say
2-0.
Giving up your hand, is it a choice, Yanis? The big question. Is it a choice? Because I never knew that this was my choice. I thought this was your choice.
If you are Jerry Conrad,
then it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah, but because I thought that
how many times you have directly went for a press without a hand, or always still you're trying to get your hand?
I always try to get my hand. I think one time in last year's super match when I did this, like, oh, it goes down. But
so you did like, okay,
I'm like, oh, okay, this is better. But it's always you trying to get your arm in and it just opens up. So in my opinion, it's not a choice. Okay. Shout out to Ryan.